is Vior, but you can call me Vior for short. I'm an IISMA awardee from the Faculty of Psychology, Universitas Pajajaran, and I got accepted as an exchange student at National Taiwan Normal University, specifically in the Department of English. I'm currently in the nearest park from NTNU campus, which is one of my favorite places, by the way, especially during the night because it's a lot quieter than right now. This park is called Dan Forest Park, a park located in Daan district, and just like any other park, it serves as one of the city's slums, which provides green scenery and fresh air for its citizens. The first time I heard about the IISMA program is from a friend who worked as an intern staff at the Unpad International office. I, who at the time was also an intern in my faculty international unit, heard about it not long after. At first, I wasn't sure if I am even qualified to apply for this program, since during that time I don't have an English proficiency test course, no ETS CVs, and truthfully speaking, my academic performance isn't that great either. Everything went so fast that I couldn't even remember all the details. All I know is I was in my room rechecking my IISMA application form with a glimpse of hope that I'll get accepted. Well, for someone who always dreamed to go to another country to study, to experience other countries' cultures, yet they aren't brave enough, they aren't confident enough to apply to this kind of student mobility program. Clicking the submit button was one of the hardest things that we do. Looking back, I think clicking the submit button was one of the most courageous things that I managed to do last year. Like the fact that I'm here in Daan, in Taipei, sharing and talking about my IISMA experience still feels like a dream's come true for me. Well, again, if we have a happy moment, we also have a down moment, which kind of unfortunate. And the first unfortunate event that I experienced was my departure to Taiwan got delayed due to the COVID-19 situation. It was a bummer that I couldn't go during the fall semester, but I believe God has His plans. During my waiting period, the Taiwan awardees actually got an offer from the MOE for a free Mandarin online course, which I found pretty helpful for people who don't speak Mandarin. Like they could get used to the language and at least know some of the basics to survive. Fast forward to our departure, I was feeling kind of anxious actually. It was mainly because everything went smoothly for me, like too smooth. Starting from the visa application process, the ticketing, the health insurance, the PCR test, and even with my luggage that is nearly overweight, but the airline still let it pass. I don't have any problems during the pre-departure or departure, and everything was alright. Well, until when we arrived in Taiwan and we took the swab test. Well, yeah, I got test positive for COVID-19 during that time. It was confusing and frightening, and I could say, many things happened in 3 hours upon my arrival in Taiwan, starting from being separated from the other awardees and being all alone in the hospital, which I don't know where at the time. And I still need to communicate in a language that I'm not good at, I'm not proficient at, talking about my health conditions, and the nurse and the doctor also explaining the regulation and restriction that what can I do and what can I do in the hospital during that quarantine or isolation program. And I also need to report to the student representative, the NTNU's international office, the Indonesian Trade Office representative, and the head of my faculty international unit. That night was really, really hectic for me. I need to text person and got called every here and there. So yeah, but thankfully, fortunately, even with a not so good beginning, I can recover and get back with other awardees after 2 weeks in the hospital. During this 7-day self-help motivating period, I got my first ever culture shock in Taiwan. So I noticed that in Taiwan they prioritize pedestrians. I remember I thought I was going to get honked by the cars or got run over by an electric scooter while crossing the road, but I didn't. I'm still alive and well, even when the light already turns red. When I'm still in the middle of the road, they still wait for me until I safely cross the road. And another cultural difference that I experience here is in an academic setting. Here it's okay for students to be an hour late after the class begins. Well, as long as you enter and you don't disturb the class or divert the other students' attention, the lecturer won't bother to warn or scold you. I find it strange at first, of course. I mean, in Indonesia, usually you get locked out if you are late by 15 minutes, and yeah, everything will just, I'll call it an absent then. That's in Indonesia, but here everything normal. You can just walk in to the classroom even though you're 1 hour late. Talking about the class, as a psychology student who is interested in language, it's right for me to apply to the Department of English as I enjoy learning psycholinguistic study, try to take my interest into account when deciding which class I will take. And again, after thinking, I settled on choosing 2 courses from the Department of English that might help me in the future studies. And the first one is the language and brain, and the other one is language and society. These 2 courses are really, really different, and what I like about this course and what I want to highlight is how they are both different. They use a very, very different approach to make students engage during the class. Like when during the language and brain, I get to experience like a linguistic lab tour and try the EEG machine. Meanwhile, in my language and society class, they often want the students to discuss about the topic and how it relates to the current real life. And aside from the academics, I also got to join some classes where I got to talk and do presentations about Indonesian culture to the Taiwanese students. And during the same event, I also made a lot of international friends who came from different parts of the world. And yeah, it was nice. It was an amazing experience to talk and discuss each other's cultures, taking different perspectives from Indonesian culture, Taiwan's cultures, and other nations' cultures. During these 4 months, I could say I'm officially IISMA biased because IISMA felt like a gate-opening experience for me. Not only it makes me more courageous to try other opportunities that will help me gain insightful experience, but it's also helped me to connect with others, not only from Indonesia but from other regions.